For 3,000 years, a secret lay buried beneath the scorching sands of the Egyptian desert, hidden from the eyes of the world, in a land where immortality was bought with stone and names. One man was systematically erased from the record of time. This was not the work of an enemy, invader, but of his own people. Every statue was chiseled away. Every inscription of his name was hacked from the walls of history. His temples were dismantled, stone by stone, to build the monuments of those who followed. They didn't just want him dead. They wanted it to be as if he had never existed at all. But history has a way of breathing through the cracks of the earth. In the modern age, the ghost of the heretic king has returned to haunt our understanding of the past. This is the forgotten story of Akhenaten, the pharaoh who dared to challenge the gods. To understand his downfall, we must first see the world he inherited. Ancient Egypt in the mid-14th century BC was the most powerful empire on earth. It was a civilization defined by rigid tradition, where the Nile provided life and the gods provided order, from the Great Pyramids to the bustling docks of Thebes. Every breath was an act of faith. The Egyptians worshipped hundreds of deities: Anubis, the jackal-headed guide to the underworld; Ra, the sun god who sailed the celestial river; and Ammon, the king of the gods. These were not just myths, they were the pillars of reality, maintained through complex rituals and immense wealth. But as the empire grew, so did the power of the priesthood. The priests of Ammon and Thebes became a state within a state. They controlled vast lands, thousands of slaves. And more gold than many kings, they held the keys to the afterlife. And even the pharaoh had to bow to their spiritual authority. Then came Amenhotep IV. From the moment he ascended the throne, it was clear he was different. His features were elongated, his vision singular. He did not want to be just another link in the chain of tradition. He saw a truth that others feared, a truth that would shatter the foundations of Egyptian life. He swept away the old gods with a single decree. He changed his name to Akhenaten and declared that there was only one god, the Aten, the literal disk of the sun. He claimed to be the only person on earth who could communicate with this divine source of light, effectively making himself the sole bridge between humanity and the heavens. The reaction was one of pure shock and fury. In the shadows of the old temples, the priests whispered of heresy and revolution. Their livelihood was gone. Their gods were insulted. And the social order was collapsing. The air in Egypt grew thick with the tension of a looming civil war. To escape the reach of the old priesthood, Akhenaten did the unthinkable. He moved the capital. He built a brand new city in the middle of the desert, calling it Akhenaten. It was a place of radical art and open-air temples, where the sun's rays could reach every corner. For a brief moment, it seemed his revolution might succeed, but the sun eventually sets on every empire. As Akhenaten focused solely on his religious zeal, the borders of Egypt began to crumble. Foreign enemies sensed weakness, and a mysterious plague began to ravage the population. The king, once seen as a god on earth, became a recluse, disappearing into the depths of his palace. When Akhenaten died, the old world struck back with a vengeance. His successors, led by the young Tutankhamun and the general Horemheb, restored the old gods. They began a campaign of damnatio memoria, the condemnation of memory. They literally tried to scrub his name from the fabric of reality. The city of Amarna was abandoned to the elements without the pharaoh's will to sustain it. The sand returned to claim the streets and the temples for thousands of years. The heretic king remained a ghost, his story lost to the shifting dunes and the silence of the desert. It wasn't until the 19th century that modern explorers began to uncover the truth. They found a king who didn't fit the mold. They found a story of a man who tried to change the world and lost everything. Today, we look at his broken face and see the first individual in human history. This face, once hidden by decree of the state, now stares back at us across the millennia. Akhenaten serves as a reminder that even the most powerful rulers can be forgotten. Yet even the most thorough erasure cannot truly destroy the truth of a human soul. History remembers kings, but sometimes it hides them. We are only now beginning to hear the whispers of the man the world tried to forget. As the sun sets over the Nile, the legacy of the heretic king remains one of the greatest mysteries of our world.